disappointed in every one of you.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to offend you.
I'm disappointed in every one of you.
I kiss you on the mouth.
No, I'm not cool with that. I'm sorry.
One more time.
I'm disappointed in every one of you.
I mean, I'm dealing with degenerate animals.
I'm disappointed in every one of you. Disappointed in every one of you.
All right, come on.
Honestly, I can't do it, man.
I'm disappointed in every one of you.
Let me tell you why.
It's gonna be all right, Nicky. Go ahead, shoot.
You just killed a little fucking man.
What are you going to do about it?
You're happy because you got nothing. You don't got a thing. You're happy because you got nothing.
Lobito!
You got nothing.
I want to get out. I want to get out of this rat hole. I want to get online. I need
BDA Boxing.
Testing 1, 2, 3. All right, welcome everybody to another BDA Boxing podcast, broadcasting to you live from the true north. This is your friend Mr. BDA, and alongside with me, as always, my co-host, the one, the only King Pucho. King, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Fantastic. I see we already got Stu and Gonzalo on the line already. Guys, thank you for joining us. We got an exciting show here tonight, this evening, whatever you want to call it. We got Abel Ramos, who is going to be fighting Yordenis Ugas this Sunday on, I believe, it's a Fox event from LA. He's going to be taking on top welterweight contender Yordenis Ugas. That is Abel Ramos, who is 26 wins, 3 losses with 20 knockouts. Let me tell you something. This guy brings power into the ring. He's been in there with some solid names and has always carried himself with honor, despite the fact that he's lost some fights here and there. Guys, it's going to be an exciting fight. This guy is young. He's coming to bring it. And I tell you something, if Ugas thinks it's going to be easy based on the fact that many believe he won the border fight, he's got a nice little winning streak. Let me tell you, you better not overlook Ramos for greener pastures, because those greener pastures could turn into fields of blood. Hope I'm not being too melodramatic, but that's the way I see it. So, Bucho, how are we going to do this? He's going to call in.
I don't know if Gonzalo gave him the phone number already.
Yeah, sure. Like, if you want him, like, right now, he can call in right now or, like, in a couple minutes. It's up to you, Mr. BD.
It's ready now.
Yeah, it's all about now, baby. That's what it's all about.
Okay.
So, yeah, just for people that aren't familiar with him, look him up. Abel Ramos, you might have seen, he's fought on Showbox. He fought Ivan Baranchik on Showbox back in 2017. He's been in there. Let me tell you something, guys. I'm going to set up the stage for you. Who is Abel Ramos? He's from Casa Grande, Arizona, but he was born in Pennsylvania, Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, that is. Look at his record. He's fought a who's who of fighters. He drew against Maurice Hooker back in 2014. Can't find that fight on Google. He drew against an undefeated Levan. I don't know if he was undefeated at the time. Levan Gavamavicheva. Sounds like an Indian guru or something. He lost a very close fight and very interesting fight against Ivan Baranchik. He dropped Baranchik, by the way. It's just, the only guy that I remember who did that was Josh Taylor. Maybe somebody else has dropped Baranchik. I don't know. He lost to Jamal James in a tough fight. Jamal James is just a freak of nature there. 6 feet tall or something, close to that. At 6'2", I think, at welterweight. It was a good fight.
He dropped them too, BDA, but they didn't count it in the second round.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, he stunned him with a left hook, I believe. He lost to Prograis, although I can't find that fight. I want to ask him what happened. There was a corner stoppage, as you can see here in 2015. He went on to beat some good fighters like Francisco Santana, who went the distance against Jared Hurd in his last fight, made him look bad. He also knocked out Brian Pereira this year at the last minute, knocked him out with a sensational uppercut and a follow-up attack. So he's been in there with some tough dudes, man. Tough dudes. He also has a win over Roberto Ramirez. There was another name I saw here, but anyway, we're going to get into that once he comes in here. It's gonna be a nice little interview for this fight. So hopefully,
He's listening, Mr. BDA. He told me and that he's already called. I think he's on the line now.
Two
all right,
phone calls there.
can you tell me? All right, let's see if this is all right. Because I don't know. You tell me his last first three digits.
Oh no,
there.
it's 5-2. Yeah, the other one's Kevin. Yeah, it's 520.
Yo, 520 on. You're on the air.
Is that him?
Hello?
Yeah, hello.
Hi, this is Abel.
Oh, Abel. Okay, because we weren't sure. We were trying to figure out which number we were supposed to be looking at. How you doing, man? Thanks for being on.
Oh, okay. Thanks, man. Thank you guys for having me, man.
Hey, no problem, man. Look, this is my name is Mr. BDA. I got my trusted co-host King Bucho here. We got Gonzalo, who was able to broker this interview, and we got my man Stu from England listening in right now. So we're gonna ask you a couple of questions about your upcoming fight against Yordenis Ugas. It's a big fight. We're all excited to see it in these times where there's not much going on in terms of sports. And listen, we'll do about half an hour, and you tell us about 5 minutes beforehand when you have to go, because I know it's fight week, and it might not be the ideal time. But so you let us know, all right, man?
Yeah, man, for sure. Thank you, guys.
Oh, thank you for being here, man. Let me ask you something. It says I was reading your bio. It says you started boxing at 13 years old.
Yeah, 13, man. Well, my whole family was big boxing fans, so we were around boxing, a lot younger. But my first official amateur fight was at 13, so that's what I like to say, that I started at 13.
Right, but you started boxing before that.
Yeah, way before that, man. I was probably like 9, 10 years old, started training, but my first official amateur fight was at 13.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you got other members in your family that box, you said?
Yeah, I got my nephew. Well, yeah, my brothers used to box as well back then. But right now it's me and my nephew, Jesus Ramos Jr., who's gonna be fighting on the card too.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. I've seen him on YouTube too, on PBC clips, man. He looks pretty good. It's a southpaw, right?
Yeah, southpaw. Yeah.
Nice. So it's a family affair, boxing. Oftentimes that's what happens with fighters. The whole family's in on it. It makes it more fun in a way.
Yeah.
Is this your first fight at 147 against Ugas, or have you fought at that weight before?
No, I fought at this weight before. My first fight at 47 was against Jamal James. That was my first fight at 47, and then I fought Santana. Yeah, I got a couple fights, man, at 47 already.
Man, let me tell you something. That Santana fight, I was rewatching it in the build-up for this interview. That was a hard fight, man. And Santana then went on to give Jared Hurd a very tough fight this year as well. What did you take away from the Santana fight? And in a way, did the Baranchik war, which I want to talk about also, do you think that prepared you to overcome a guy like Santana?
Yeah, definitely, man. I mean, they both had similar styles, just come forward, pressure. They're on top of you the whole fight, man. And yeah, man, the Baranchik fight, the experience I had in that fight definitely got me ready for that. For the Santana fight, man. But it was a good fight, man. Santana's a tough fighter. He just keeps coming, man. He's just one of those guys.
That's something that's always interested me, because people always get into it with me about how fighting from the outside is harder, they say. They contend that fighting from the outside is harder than fighting on the inside. My experience, I've boxed a little bit, is that fighting on the inside is much harder, at least for me. I'm a long guy for my weight, so fighting on the inside against guys that have shorter arms, to me, it's a bit of a nightmare. It was a similar style matchup when you fought Santana because you were the taller guy. What are some of the things that you got to look for when you're fighting somebody on the inside, especially a shorter guy?
Yeah, man, you got to look out you got to be aware, man. People think it's just inside and you're just brawling. But no, man, people that actually know how to fight inside, they're looking for openings. They're looking for little short shots. And those are the ones that hurt, man. The little small punches that you don't see, those are the ones that hurt you. So yeah, there's a whole science behind the inside fighting game, man, and you gotta be real good.
Yeah, man. Especially because I mean, I've never boxed without headgear, but when you got that headgear, it obstructs your view, or maybe it's a mental thing. I don't know, but I feel like it obstructs my view. So when I'm on the inside, it's hard to watch to see those little openings in there that you got to dig in for. Um, do you like that when you're sparring? You like work both ways. Hey, let me work a little bit on the inside, and then let me stay back on the outside and use my legs a little bit more.
Yeah, man, for sure. I like to do that, especially in sparring. You know, that's where you get to practice everything, and it's good to practice both things. You know, because you never know when you're gonna need it, man. You never know when you're gonna get a guy that's just gonna keep coming at you and trying to be on the inside. So you gotta be able to have both things, boxing skills and inside game skills.
Yeah, that's the thing, man. Because there were spots in the Santana fight where you were staying on the inside with him, and the commentators kept saying, "Oh, he shouldn't be on the ropes against him. Shouldn't be on the ropes." But you were doing good work in there too. But I also noticed that when you kept him on the outside with your jab, you were doing a lot of good work with your lead hand, controlling him from the outside, hooking a little bit, just keeping him occupied, and which showed me that hey, this guy is actually pretty well schooled. He can fight on the outside. He can fight on the inside a little bit. Also, let's talk about your knockout ratio, which is 20 knockouts out of 26 wins. And even in your losses, like against Jamal James, you hurt him with a left hook. They didn't call it a knockdown, but you could tell he was shook up. When did you realize, coming up in your boxing career, that you actually had heavy hands?
I think since the amateurs, man, like right at the end of my amateur career, you know, I was stopping a lot of guys with headgear, you know, with headgear and bigger gloves. So, you know, I knew that I had heavy hands. And I don't really consider myself too much of a puncher. I consider myself more like a volume puncher. You know, I think I break people down.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because you're what I would call a boxer puncher, because you're not going out there brawling and pressuring people nonstop. I mean, it's you're putting your punches together, and you're looking for the openings too a little bit. You're not going all out. In fact, when you hit Santana with some mean body shots and you really dug in there, like you could tell he stopped and he nodded. Now, usually when a guy does that, it means he's hurt. And you were throwing some bombs to the body, man. Like I can tell you plant your feet real well. Your trainer is your father, right?
He's my brother, my older brother.
Oh, your older brother. Okay, yeah. The commentator said it was your father. Oh, yeah. Where did you get that technique of stand? Did you train alongside a lot of other Mexicans in the U.S., or like how did you learn to? Because usually it's from Mexico that plant your feet flat on the ground and just boom, go to town with body shots.
Yeah, man, it's something that, you know, my family, you know, as boxing fans, we used to watch Julio Cesar Chavez all the time. So, you know, we love the body shots, man. We fell in love with them because of them. And I actually got the opportunity to go train in Mexico for, I think it was about a whole year. I went when I was like 15, 16. And I got that whole experience, man. And they really worked the body over there. So from there on, you know, I started focusing more and more on the body every time I train. You know, it's no matter who we're fighting, we always focus on the body.
Yeah, I also saw. I'm seeing here that you fought a bunch of times in Mexico. How was that like?
It was good, man. It was good. It was more of just, you know, to stay active, you know, because prior to fighting Jamal James, I almost had like a year layoff, and I think it affected me, you know, because it's nothing like being in the gym and just staying ready for a fight, and you know those fights, they were because of that, you know. I just wanted to stay busy and get some rounds in, and it was good, man. It was a good experience. I mean, there's people think that you know, they see a losing record, a guy like, you know, from Mexico with a losing record, but they don't know, man. Those guys are really, really tough sometimes, man.
Yeah, they are, man. Was it like in that scene of Creed where he goes to Mexico and it's almost like a half an underground type of fight or something? Or
Yeah, that is exactly like that, man. And then the boxing fans in Mexico, man, they're ruthless, man.
Yeah, that's true. If you're an outsider.
Yeah, they yell at you. They're making jokes, and it's a fun experience, man.
Well, it's good, man, that you keep active because sometimes guys they have trouble finding fights and they just go like, oh, I'm just gonna wait to see what happens. And you were like, no, fuck that. I'm going to Mexico. I'm getting, because a fight's a fight, even though, like you said, it might not be against world class opponents. It's a real fight. 10-ounce, 8-ounce gloves. You're swinging for the fences. Guys are trying to take your head off, so it keeps you sharp, I assume.
Yeah, definitely, man, and that's the approach we took. Fighting, going to Mexico and fighting, just to get some rounds in, and practice on things we practice at the gym, and it's a fight, man. Anybody can punch with 8-ounce gloves, man, and so you got to be aware and you got to be sharp, man. Even in those what people call easy fights, you still got to be sharp.
Yeah, man, that's worth a lot of money, man. Staying sharp, you can't buy that. One thing that I wanted to ask you about, because I'm watching, I've been watching your fights on YouTube, everything I could find on Daily Motion too. The only one of the few ones, obviously the Hooker fight, because you guys were coming up. The Prograis fight is the one. Was that televised or was that just shown in as an event? Because I can't find it.
Yeah, it was. It was on Showbox. Actually.
Oh.
It was the main event on Showbox. Yeah.
And what happened in that fight? Because all I could find was that it was a corner retirement. But what happened at the end there? Like, how did the fight go and how did it end?
It was a tough fight, man. I think his style just it really gave me a lot of problems that night. Just I couldn't catch him, and then I got a headbutt in round number 4, and I got a cut over my left thigh. And then I got another headbutt like in round 6 or 7, and it was on top of my head. And that was the one that was causing me the problems, man. Because the head cuts tend to bleed more than any like eye cut or anything.
Mm-hmm.
So just the eye, man, I couldn't see anything out of my left eye. Couldn't see anything, man. So yeah, I just told my brother, hey, man, I can't see. Like I was dishonest with him, man.
Well, you know what? That's it.
And they had to stop the fight.
No, all right, hold on, Stu. You want to say something?
Yeah, I was saying that the other day. He's very unorthodox, Regis Prograis. Very difficult guy to fight. He doesn't look special at anything, but he's just very awkward and he's very busy. And I can see why Abel had a tough night there. He's a very, very good fighter, Regis Prograis.
Well, Abel, was he boxing from the outside, or were you trying to press him? Like, how was it going stylistically?
Yeah, stylistically, we both started from the outside. We were jabbing a lot in the first couple, maybe like first 3 rounds, and then I just started at like right around round 4 or 5. My brother was like, we gotta get inside, man. He's moving too much. He was boxing me from the outside, so I was just going forward in that fight pretty much, and just pretty much like going after him the whole fight. But those cuts, it was my first time ever getting cut, and I think that just gave me a lot of problems, man. Just I think more mentally than anything, man, because I couldn't see out of the eye, and it was just frustrating for me.
Yeah, when that blood's coming out of there, gushing out, it's got to be a pain, man. But you know what? Since then, you fought a whole lot of styles. I mean, you fought Prograis, who can punch and who's very athletic. You fought Baranchik, who's as strong as it comes. Francisco Santana, too. You fought Maurice Hooker, who's a long puncher. You fought Jamal James, who's another tall, awkward guy. So coming into this Ugas fight, you've pretty much seen all types of styles in there. Is that something that's on your mind coming to this fight? And is your confidence sky high knowing that you've been in there with all types of styles?
Yeah, of course, man. I've been in tough fights, like you mentioned, all those guys, they're top level fighters. And yeah, man, it definitely gives me the confidence, that I have the experience, I have the knowledge, man, of being against the top guys. And this is where I belong, man, in the top fights. And I can give anybody at 147, any of the 147 top fighters a problem.
Absolutely, yeah. That's the mentality you want to have coming into this type of fight. People look at Ugas and they see a big, strong guy, and it can be intimidating a little bit because we're not used to watching muscular fighters that look like they lift weights. But ultimately, Ugas is a counterpuncher. He's not a calm forward guy. Is that something you've thought about during training and as you're coming into the fight?
Yeah, of course, man. That's what we see as well, man. That's what me and my brother saw that. He's a counterpuncher. He's waiting for you to make mistakes. He's waiting for you to throw a lazy jab to come over with his right. We see that, and yeah, man, we worked especially for that, and I think Sunday night's gonna show, man.
Well, hopefully, man. Look, listen, it's gonna. We're hoping for a great fight, and we're hoping you do well as well. I want to get to some questions though from the audience because we're already. Butcher, how long have we been on with Abel? Because we don't want to take too much of your time, man.
Oh, like 20.
I want to ask one question as well when I get a chance.
Let's ask some questions.
Man,
Go ahead.
I think we've been like 20 minutes in, 18 minutes.
All right. Let's start getting some questions for people. Stu, go ahead.
I just wanted to ask Abel about 147, jumping up from 140 to 147. How comfortable is he at 147? And do you think that there's quite a bit of difference between 147 power and 140? Does he feel strong at 147, or does he think he's given away attributes by going up?
Yeah, Abel. Did you hear the question, Abel?
No, I can just hear you.
Oh, okay.
I don't hear anybody else.
Oh, okay. Well, one of my panelists here, Stu, asked you if making the jump from 140 to 147 has been beneficial to you, or if it's a completely different world.
It's been beneficial, man. The last 140-pound fight I had was against Baranchik, and I remember that weight cut, man. It was brutal. And I think it showed in the fight, man. I think I could have done better, if I would have been more of a natural weight, and that's when I took the decision, man, that 47 was going to be the go-to weight. I was already struggling too much at 140.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. Yeah, and like you mentioned, I think you've even fought as high as 154, right? Have you fought at super welterweight?
Probably maybe just the Mexico fight.
Okay, yeah.
I don't think it was any big fight. Yeah, I don't think it was any fight from here.
Hey, by the way, let me just try something here. All right, Stu or Bucho, can one of you talk just to see if Abel can hear you now?
Can you hear me?
Can you hear us now?
No, I can't hear anything, man.
Oh, wait a minute. Did you hear the people asking you? Could you hear us?
No, he can't hear anything.
Damn, I don't know if it's the Discord, Bucho, or if it's the Google Stream, Google Chrome.
No, I think you have to switch something. You have to switch something over, don't you?
Yeah.
Probably the Chrome. It has to be on line in.
I don't know what it would be. Oh, it has to be. Yeah, maybe. Fuck.
Yeah, that has to be line in.
But I don't know how to change it now, man. Though that's the problem. Anyway, listen. I want to get another person in the chat room wants to know, Abel. They want to know your pound for pound list. Do you have a pound for pound list? Because I know not everybody has one.
I don't really have one, man, but there's fighters definitely right now that stand out. I think not in any order, man, but Canelo, Lomachenko, Terence Crawford. I think those guys are definitely the top three, But I don't have a personal list or anything like that. But to me, those are the top guys right now.
Right. Yeah, I got you, man. Now that's the other thing is going into this fight though. You got that punching power. Is that another thing? I mean, I know you don't like to consider yourself just a punching power, but is that something that's in the back of your mind too, as we saw in the Pereira fight, where you can be behind a little bit on the scorecards and still come back from that fight and land a one-hitter quitter?
Yeah, man, for sure. It's something nice to have, as a backup, like it happened in the Pereira fight. But I don't try to focus, too much into that. If the knockout comes, then it comes. But it's good to know that I have the power, to change a fight at any second, any minute of a fight.
BDA, can you ask him something for me?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to do my best to phrase it. Instinctually, I seen his fights in the Baranchik, James Santana, even the Perella. When he gets hit with something good, he always comes back with something harder. And when he's hurt, he responds kind of like Oscar De La Hoya, instinctually. Ask him if I'm accurate at saying that, like, that's something that I see him doing. When he gets hit, does he like automatically, like, his brain go into like, I gotta hit you back with something even harder?
Abel, did you hear that question?
Good luck remembering that, man.
Sorry.
Oh, okay, that's okay, man. Because I'm trying to work out here what's going on. Gonzalo asked if, like, every time you get hit, you always come back with something else, kind of like Oscar De La Hoya and Sugar Ray Leonard, those type of fighters used to do. Is that something that's always in the back of your mind as well, or is that how you've always been in the gym as well in sparring sessions?
Even when he's got dropped, he comes back and drops the other guy, kind of like that.
Yeah, man, I've always been like that, and my brother actually gets mad at me, because of that. He's like, don't wait until you get hit with a good punch for you to throw a good punch. He wants me to begin the punching. But it's just something in me, man. That whenever I get hit with a good punch, I feel like, all right, you got me good, then I'm gonna get you even better. It's just a mentality I have.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead, Gonzalo. What did you want to say?
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Like, even when he's got dropped, that seems to light a fire under him, and he comes back and drops you or does something that's impressive. Does that set off a switch in him?
Yeah, he wants to know, when you sometimes you get hurt and you come back and then you drop the other guy. It's like, sort of like the Holyfield syndrome. When you get hurt and when you get hit, is that something that flips a switch inside of you?
Yeah, man, I think it does, man. It must be something like that because, I just feel like the urgency of getting them back. It's just something in me, man. That whenever someone gets me good, like I'm coming after them.
Yeah, that's gotta be.
Yeah. And one last thing, BDA, credit for that Baranchik fight because Steve Farhood said it was one of the best fights on Showbox, and I thought it was a really, really good fight. That's all.
Yeah, that Baranchik fight, what's his name? Steve Farhood said that it was one of the best fights he'd ever seen. I mean, it was a rock'em sock'em type of affair. Like I asked you before, when you go through a war like that, is that something that you knew at the time you could go through, or is it something like afterwards you look at it and you go, "Wow, I actually came out from that, and I gave as good as I got."
Yeah, man, it was it was the first fight that I ever been in that type of adversity and a type of fight, And I learned a lot from that fight, man. And like you said, man, I learned that I can hang with the best. I can go a 10-round fight hard against a hard fighter, and it gave me just a boost of confidence, man, and my abilities as well.
Okay, Abel, man. Let me see if I got some questions here from the audience because I forgot to get to them here. Hold on. Yeah, somebody wanted to ask you about Gray. Who would you like to fight from the guys that have defeated you in the past? Who would be the number one guy that you would like to get a shot at?
I think the Progress fight, man. Just because I know I could have done better. I know myself, and I know that fight. It wasn't me that fight. I felt like I was just I don't know, man. I was just so disappointed in that fight, man. The other fights, I lost, but I gave it my all, and they were tough fights. But I think the Progress fight, man, I think that's the fight that I would like to remention.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, ask him one question. Who's he got out of Ramirez and Taylor? Because I know he fought Morris Hooker, and Ramirez made easy work of Morris Hooker.
Okay, I'll ask him. Yeah. Abel, Stu wants to know, who do you have winning a potential Ramirez versus Taylor fight at 140? Because you fought Morris Hooker and Baranchik, who was in there with Postal too. Well, I mean with Taylor, and you fought Prograis too. Who do you see winning Ramirez versus Taylor? Should that happen?
I think it's gonna be a good fight, man. It's gonna be a close fight. But if I would have to pick someone, it would be Taylor, man. I think Ramirez has problem with fighters that move very good, and I think Taylor has that. He has the. I believe he's tall. He's taller than Ramirez, and he's a southpaw too, man. So if I would give a slight edge, I would give it to Taylor. But I think it would be a good fight, anyways.
Yeah, for sure, man. Yeah, that's most people are picking Taylor. Most people are picking Taylor for that fight.
Yeah.
But but it should be a good one, man. And I would love to see you in there with a couple of 140 pounders if you could still make the weight. Or maybe after this fight, if you beat Ugas, you might be staying at 147 there for a campaign. Of course, we don't want you overlooking Ugas. I mean, that's a good fight right there. And if you win it, it's going to be fantastic for you. Have you,
Mr. BDA?
Yes, Gonzalo. Go ahead.
Sorry, can you ask him if he knows Michael Carbajal from Arizona?
Yeah, Gonzalo wants to know if you know Michael Carvajal. If you know him personally.
I've seen him at fights. No, not personally, no. But I've seen him at the amateur fights since I was a small kid. He used to come to the fights.
Oh, no kidding.
Personally, no, I don't know him. Yeah.
Yeah, his fights.
Man, I know his style. I know his style, his boxing style, man. I love his fights. I love watching him.
Yeah, him and Chiquita Gonzalez, man. I mean, fantastic fights right there.
Yeah.
Hey, I wanted to ask you something too, because you're the type of guy. Have you sparred any names that people would go, holy shit, he sparred with that guy? Or do you stay, mostly do you travel all around the United States to spar, or do you get any sparring stories?
Sparring stories, not too much, man. I think just coming up, that's when I had my experience of sparring. Just coming up right now, it's a little bit difficult just to get sparring with other good names out there. Just because we got bigger fights, and we need to get people that will simulate the styles. But coming up, I used to spar a lot with Jesse Vargas, who used to go out to Vegas.
Huh.
I was in camp with Jesus Soto Caras when he was going to fight Maidana.
Oh.
I helped him with sparring.
Yeah, we've had him on the show.
And yeah, he's a cool guy, man. And who else, man? I've sparred a lot of guys, man. And just recently for this fight, we were in Omaha, Nebraska training, and I got to get some rounds in with Terrence Crawford as well.
Oh, no kidding. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's your assessment of Terrence Crawford? A lot of people, there's a big debate in the boxing community about whether he's the number one pound for fighter or whether it's Canelo. What are your thoughts on Terrence Crawford? What did you make of him when you sparred him?
Man, he's an amazing talent, man. I think he's a special fighter, man. And he wasn't really in training or anything, man. He would just show up to the gym and first day back and come and spar. He just come with his gear on and ready for sparring.
BDA, ask him if he thinks he beat Spence.
He's definitely a good fighter, man, and he's definitely like I said in the top of the list in the pound for pound.
Mm-hmm. Stu wants to know, who would you pick between him and Errol Spence?
Man, that's a good fight too, man. That's a good fight. I think I would take Crawford, man. Yeah, man, it's a tough fight. It's tough to choose, man. But I think Crawford, man, just because of his experience, and I think he's fought better opposition.
Interesting, man. Interesting. Especially, would you take into consideration the fact that Errol Spence got into that horrible car accident, despite the fact that he ended up walking away without a scratch? But do you think that might affect him as well, or even if it hadn't happened, would you still pick Crawford to beat him?
Yeah, man, that's another thing. You don't know, man. Hopefully, taking on Danny Garcia for his next fight, I think, he must feel good, he must feel good, and maybe it didn't affect him, but, you never know until we see him fight against Garcia. We'll see if the accident had any effect on him at all.
Yeah, I guess that's the only way we'll know. I mean, people are speculating nonstop about his mental behavior because, I mean, one day he's talking about how he didn't train properly for the Sean Porter and for the Mikey Garcia fight, and in another video he's driving around in the woods with a machine gun. I mean, I don't. People are just speculating whether he's okay in the head, but like you said, we'll see what happens when he steps in there against Danny Garcia. You know, Abel, when you training, most people don't see what goes on behind the scenes with you guys. We only see you in the ring on that particular night, but prior to that, there might have been weeks and weeks of training, and can get a little bit repetitive. But also, at the end of the day, it's boxing. It's what you want to do. What's the most fun part for you of training?
The most fun, I think everything, man. I enjoy everything, especially if it's a good fight, you know, that you're training for. I think you find yourself more motivation, you know, when you're going against a top fighter. But really, I enjoy everything, man. I really and you know, my brother trains with me, my nephew trains with me, so it's always family. We're always having fun, and you know, but when it's time to work, we work. But
BDA,
I would say everything, man. I enjoy everything, you know. Training camp is stressful. It's very stressful, man. A lot of strain on the body. But I think just trying to have fun with it, you know, I think that's the only way you can get through a 8-week, 9-week training camp.
Absolutely.
BDA,
Yeah, no cheating on that
since
one.
he just arrived.
Go ahead, Gonzalo. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Sorry. Since he just arrived to Los Angeles and checked into the bubble, my question is, today's Thursday over where you're at. By Sunday, does he get in? Does he have an opportunity to get some light work in and need what he needs to do before the fight, or is he just confined to his room?
Yeah, Gonzalo wants to know, since you just checked into LA into the bubble, are you gonna have time to do a little light workout prior to the fight, or like how's the schedule looking for that fight, for the build up in a couple of days?
Yeah, I think right now they just it's our first day getting here. I think we're not allowed to go out today. We got tested, but they should get the results by tomorrow morning. So I think after tomorrow morning, they have a schedule. No, they have a schedule in training time to go use the gym, and I think it's just one training session per day, man. And so it's definitely gonna be different, but no, I'm ready. I'm almost on weight, so I'm not really worried about that right now.
Oh, fantastic. So you're not killing yourself to make weight right now.
Yeah, no, not at all, man. I had a great training camp. It was the first time we ever hired a nutritionist, and they did an amazing job, man. My weight's good right now. I've never came into a fight, you know, this well prepared, man. So I'm excited to see the results on Sunday.
Fantastic, man. Fantastic.
BDA,
Yes,
one more
you go.
question, right? Just
Yes.
ask him, if he used to have one wish to fight one guy at 147, what would it be?
All right. Again, I don't, Abel, I don't want you to look past Ugas, but if there's, Stu's asking me to ask you, if there's one name that you want to fight at 147, who would it be?
That's a good question, man. I think this division is loaded with talent, man. There's so many fighters out there that would be I think any of the top fighters, man, and beginning with Ugas, man. Ugas is a great fighter too. So I would be honored to go any of the champions, man. To go against any of the champions right now at 147.
Right. Yeah, I think Stu. I think my friend Stu. He wants you to fight Amir Khan. Just if you could check, chin check him a little bit, because Stu is a big fan of Khan. Stu's a. No, I'm kidding.
Tell him I said make it quick as well.
Yeah, Stu's saying if you fight Khan, make it quick.
All right.
All right. Listen, Abel. We don't want to take more of your time, but so thank you very much for joining us, man. Really appreciate it. It's good talking to you. It's always nice to talk to pro fighters, especially when they got big fights coming up. So we want to wish you the best of luck. No matter what happens in there, both of you walk out of there okay. And any last words before we let you go? Anything else you want to say?
First of all, thank you guys, man. Thank you guys for the time, for taking the time to do an interview. And to all the fans, man, tune in Sunday night, man. It's gonna be a war, and you guys are gonna enjoy a great night of boxing.
Absolutely, man. I'm looking forward to it. So thank you again for joining us, Abel. Have a good night, man.
Thank you.
All right. All right. That was Abel Ramos, who's going to be fighting Yordenis Ugas this Sunday.
Yeah.
I couldn't get you because I had to, if I wanted to get you guys in on it, I had to reload this page. And
don't worry about it, man. It turned out okay in the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Because
it turned out okay in the end. It would have been nice if he could like sort of hear us and know who he's talking to. But hey, it is what it is. It was a decent interview. He's a nice kid, isn't he? He's a nice kid. We wish him all the best at the BDA. We'll be cheering for him. There's no reason for us to want Ugas to beat this kid. No Ugas fans here, but Ugas is a very hard fight for him. You know, he's a tricky customer. He gave Sean Porter all he could handle. And Sean Porter, you know my feelings about him. So, yeah, I mean, Abel's got his work cut out, but look, you never know. Boxing's you've always got a chance in a boxing ring. And like I said, he's no cannon fodder himself, is he? He's a decent fighter. He's been in with some fucking very good guys like Baranchik, Regis Prograde, so real good guys. And Ugas is going to be a good guy too.
I say he's got a chance, BDA. I was listening to everything you were asking him about the different styles he's faced, and I watched that. Like, he fought a whole different type of array of styles. He had 120 amateur fights, lost 10. And this guy, he's no Jamal James, where he's like towering over him. They're both 5'9" with 69-inch reach, and Abel Ramos got a good jab. And also, Ugas is 34 years old and has lost 4 times himself.
That's right, 6-1. Yeah. He's a 6-1 underdog. So placing a bet is not a bad idea. Go ahead, sir.
Look, like I said, mate, this guy is a live contender. This is no cannon fodder we're talking about here, you know. He's only got 3 defeats, and they're against top guys. Yeah. Man. So, you know, at the end of the day, Ugas has been beat 4 times. Let's not forget that.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Ugas is no unmovable object, is he? You know, let's be real. If you catch Ugas on the button, he's going like anyone else will.
Mm-hmm.
Sean Porter. I think Sean Porter struggled with the reach of Ugas that night. He was flying in, weren't he? Sean, because he was flying into shots. He was walking into shots, running into shots actually. And you know, and in the end, he had to like sort of box his way through that, and he just nicked it for me. I mean, some people think Ugas won it. I don't. I think Sean Porter just nicked it, but you know, I think he gave Porter all he could handle. It's a difficult style to fight, but like I said, he's a Cuban. You can take it to the trenches with the Cubans, and a lot of the time they fall to pieces. They don't really want it when it's tough. They want to be fighting at their own pace, pop shotting their way to points wins from the southpaw stance, and you know, you take it to these guys, and I've seen it before. A lot of them fall to pieces.
He's not necessarily no spring chicken. Abel's coming off of 8 victories and 7 by KO, and the 2 fights before that he lost, he was competitive and he was winning the Baranchik fight. And that's a good reason he just explained to us that he couldn't make 140 anymore. I'm just saying that it'll be an exciting fight. Who knows who will win? But he's going to perform.
He's on the roll. He's on the roll.
29 years old. Yep, he's on the roll. 29 years old too in his prime. Filling out at 147.
That's right.
Yeah, it's a good fight.
Hey, shout out to Steven Schneider for his contribution with the Super Chat. He says, great interview. Well, thank you, Steven. Thank you for the compliment and thank you for the Super Chat. Really appreciate it. I'm glad we could entertain you guys and bring you this interview. Of course, that was also, again, Gonzalo, just like when he brought us Jesus Soto Caraz and Libertad Andrade and Clarence Bones Adams. I mean, and I forget I think somebody else too, if I'm forgetting, but now Abel Ramos. Thank you for Gonzalo too for bringing us this interview so that we could show it to you guys. But like you're saying, stylistically, you know, Ugas, all those great points, man. Ugas is 34. Abel Ramos has seen all types of styles. Now, Mateus Lisa says that Ramos is more of a gatekeeper type of guy, but hey, look, gatekeeper guys can beat contenders, man. It's not that much of a difference in levels. And like I told Abel Ramos, he's been in there with everybody and he's got heavy hands. So what we're going to see, you know, this isn't a drunk Brandon Figueroa going in there against Ugas. You know what I mean? This is a guy that's hungry. He hasn't had that huge win against a top 10 guy. So he wants that, man. And when he fought Baranchik, like I tell you, you know what? Barancic's a big, strong dude, and Ramos looked about as strong as he was. So he's no beanpole in there. So it's gonna be a good fight, man. Win or lose, he's gonna do good in there. Trust me.
If I was training Ramos, I mean, the tactics would have to be to rough this guy Ugas up and try and get inside. I think if you stay at distance from a range with this guy, I think he's just a bit too classy, and I think he'll nick it. But I think you've got to rough this guy up, take it to him, find out if he really has the stomach for it. You know, you're gonna have to get hit, but you're gonna have to throw shots. You're gonna have to throw body shots, hooks, uppercuts. You're gonna have to maul him in the hold. You're just gonna have to. That's how you beat these Cubans. You're not gonna beat them at range trying to outbox them. You know, so he's gonna have to make this a dogfight.
I've noticed something, Stu. I was watching his fights, and I come to learn he's got a real good jab. People gotta watch his fights.
Exactly.
I noticed.
You can use that jab to get inside. What I'm saying is, if he tries to outbox Ugas for 12 rounds, it's not going to happen. I'm telling you that now. Ugas will win that fight.
Yeah.
He's going to have to make this a dog fight. He's going to have to use his jab to get inside. Because, of course, you can't just walk square on, come forward. You know, you're going to get hit. You know, you got to be smart when you're coming inside. But once he gets inside, he's got to be busy. He's got to throw punches and bunches. He's got to maul this guy. Like Madonna did Floyd. You know how Madonna just swarmed him. That's all right. He's not a Madonna when it comes to inside game, but he's going to have to be that guy that night if he wants to win. Because if he doesn't, he's going to get outboxed.
I'm showing pictures of Omar Figueroa's sister that became famous at the Ugas weigh-in during the Pacquiao Thurman weigh-ins fights. I mean, that was she's top notch, man. Let me tell you. But you know what?
She's wearing that on purpose, man. Come on.
Of course. Who wears that to a fucking?
Who wears that?
Yeah. Well, I do it on a Saturday night, but I'm in the privacy of my own home. But look, listen, the point is, Stu mentioned that Ugas thing about having to rough him up. Ugas, if you remember when he fought Figueroa, okay, he beat Figueroa, but he was clinching a lot too. Like, he didn't want any part of him on the inside. So my thing is, you know, if Ramos brings it to him at 34 years old, Ugas, who's still looking for his own shot at one of the top 3 guys, is he going to maybe look past Ramos a little bit? Is he going to have it in him to want to go to war? All good questions, man. All good questions.
Name one Cuban, right? That actually feels comfortable in the pocket, trading and going to the trenches. It's just not their game. They're like fighting at a slow pace where they don't throw a lot of punches. They throw classy punches. You know, they're scoring shots, but they're very negative, a lot of them. And when you take it to them, they start to fold. And look at Rigondeaux against Lomachenko, man. Just quit. Just quit, man.
Yeah, and then look at him in his 2 last fights. He suddenly decided to become a slugger, but he's doing it all wrong. And he's almost, I think it's been taking what little time he has in boxing out of him, because with going to war with some of these Mexican guys, I don't think this.
What it is, right? These guys don't want to fight like that because their legs have slowed down. They're old guys. Rigondeaux's in his 40s. I don't care, mid 40s, and his legs have gone, so he has to trade now because he can't run anymore.
Yeah,
and that's the same with Lara. I mean, everyone thinks, oh well, Lara's decided to be exciting. No, he ain't. He just ain't got the legs to run anymore. Come on,
yeah,
man.
that's right.
Yeah, come on. All of a sudden, he realized, oh well, I'm gonna switch my style. Come on.
Hey guys, we got a phone call here. Let's see if this time you can hear him. 773. 773, you're on the air. 773.
Great fucking interview, guys. Top notch.
Thank you, Kevin. Thank you. Hey, by the way, before we continue, can we just do a test to see if these guys can, if you can hear these guys? Somebody, or Bucho, or could you speak?
Kevin, can you hear us? Hello.
Yep, I hear you.
Okay, he hears you. Yeah, he hears you. No, because I reset, like I told you, Bucho, I had to reset the thing, but I didn't want to do it during the interview because I think it would have cut the call off.
Yeah.
All right, Kevin, what's up, man?
Perfect.
What's on your mind?
I didn't get a chance to talk to you guys about the Ramirez Postal fight, so I want to give my thoughts on that. Yeah, I was saying Postal's a live dog. He's an old, crafty veteran, cagey. Don't count him out. A lot of people were saying this is going to be Ramirez showcase fight. Not so much. I actually thought Postal won that fight. A lot of people didn't agree. But kind of the narrative was, this is what Teddy Atlas said. He said, it was a cat clawing versus a dog biting. Biden wins. I didn't see that. I saw Postal landing clean, hard shots as well, because he was keeping Ramirez at bay. It's not like Ramirez is rushing forward the whole time. He was kind of stuck in limbo a lot of the time. He didn't want to come rushing in because Postal kept him honest with that straight right hand. He stung him a couple of times with that straight right hand, wobbled him one time pretty good, buckled his knees. So I'm surprised the amount of people who thought Ramirez won. It's like, yeah, Postal put up a good fight, but Ramirez did enough. He won. I just didn't see that. I thought Postal was the more active fighter, the more accurate fighter, and people were saying because he was coming forward, but he never really trapped Postal in the corner. Every time he had him against the ropes, he circled out. So I want to get your guys' thoughts on that. Am I onto something or what? Or am I lost?
Well, let me just recap here the predictions that we had for that fight, because we did a little preview the night before, and we're actually showing clips of each guy. So Stu said Ramirez by decision. Jim I said Ramirez by decision. D. Jeffers said Ramirez unanimous decision. Gonzalo said Ramirez by stoppage. 10th round, I believe. Bucho says Ramirez ref stoppage. And guess what? Mr. BDA, that's right, me, little old me. Ramirez close. That's right, close decision. So I finally got one right, guys. Now, to my discredit, that was also my prediction for Povetkin White. I thought it was going to be a close decision that was going to be hotly contested by the fans, but I finally got it right. So, but yeah, but listen. What do you guys think about? Yeah, shout out to Jimmy. What do you guys think about what Kevin said? Are we and a lot of people in the media and on YouTube, did they see the wrong fight? And should Postal have gotten the decision? Did he control the pace of the fight?
This is what I think about that. I'm gonna be real fast with this. Look, I think it was a close fight, but you're watching the wrong fight, I believe, because people are scoring it like if it was an amateur fight. If it was an amateur fight, I could agree with you 100%. Okay, go ahead, give it a Postal. But as a professional fight in the professional boxing game, I think Ramirez edged it. But it could have gone either way.
Yeah, that's the way I feel about. Oh, go ahead, Jimmy. Go ahead.
No, my thing is, well, they were fighting for Ramirez's belt, right? His title. He was the champion that night.
Yeah, two belts.
All right. Well, did you think Postal did enough to take a champion's belt from him?
Yeah, that's a good
back
point.
foot.
You know, that old adage of you have to take it away from the champ. Look, if you win the rounds, you win the rounds. I don't give a guy.
Well, then it's a draw.
No, yeah, but winning the rounds usually means ring generalship. Do you feel he had the ring generalship?
I thought Postal in certain rounds. Again, I'd have to rewatch it. I haven't watched it since the day. But I don't give a guy points just because he comes forward. Because to me, Postal.
Oh no, either do I. Because you can be a meathead and just come forward with your face
but
down.
also if you're not landing your jab, then if you look at Postal, a lot of times the jab was missing or he was hitting the gloves. So that's not effective aggressiveness. What is it then? It's when I call it ring generalship. Not
they
really.
were giving all the swing rounds to Postal, and a lot of people had it scored the first 4 rounds for Postal, which I disagree with that.
Yeah, it was a classic fight of what do you like? The guy coming forward, landing the hardest shots, or the other guy moving around the ring, gliding around the ropes, and peppering the other guy with shots. I know Ring IQ. I was watching as soon as the fight ended. I went over to his stream, and he was in shock that his viewers in the chat room were saying that they thought Postal won it without question. So again, it's that type of fight, man. It's going to divide people, and it was a little bit evident going into it because you had one great boxer in Postal against a very good come forward pressure fighter, and it was going to be neither guy was going to be teeing off on the other, so it was going to be up to what you like. The guy coming forward landing the occasional harder shot, or Postal with his jabs and his right hands.
It's like I said before, mate. Right?
Yeah.
Before this fight, I said Ramirez has shown me nothing to convince me that he's going to stop Postal. I just didn't see it happening. I told you it'd be a unanimous decision. All right, it was a majority. Not a lot of difference, really. I mean, I didn't see the fight because I fell asleep. That's the effect Postal has on me. You know, it was late at night. I fell asleep. Sorry. It's what it is.
He had him hurt in the 7th.
I watched highlights. I watched highlights. It looked like Ramirez started early quite well. You know, he started winning the early rounds, then he started to fade sort of thing. That's what it looked like to me. But I didn't see enough. So, look, Ramirez, I've never really been convinced with Ramirez. Oh, he's a good fighter. He is. It's just nothing special for me. And I still think if he fought Prograis, he loses that one as well. Baranchik would give this guy nightmares. And, you know, I just don't think Ramirez is that good. There's a lot better Mexicans out there than him. That's for sure. So, yeah.
All right. Let me get Kevin in here.
Not highly convinced.
Let me get Kevin in here. Kevin, you want to say something?
Yes. What I said was, yeah, Postal is looking good. I think he's winning the fight, but they're not going to give you the decision. That's what I was thinking. I was like, yeah, you're outboxing him, but you got to put this guy down. You got to hurt him. You got to drop him at the very least. And even if you drop him, they're probably not going to give it to you. So that's kind of was my thoughts. Like going into that scorecard, I was just like, oh man, it's not going to look good for Postal because
well, I told you that. I told you on the night. There's no way Postal's getting the decision against Ramirez. I told you that. You know, I said Postal has to go and try and get the stoppage. And for me, didn't really look like he tried to do that. He just tried to fight like he always does. Tried to very amateur style at times where he's trying to nick rounds. And you're not gonna beat Ramirez on his home turf doing that. You got to take it, but the difference. That's the difference with Josh Taylor. Josh Taylor's going to go there. He's going to go, even if it's in Ramirez's backyard, he's going to take the fight to Ramirez. And that's what
totally amateur styles do. I agree 100. Totally.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a good fighter, and if you want to give him the fight, I have nothing against that. That's a good call. Go ahead. But it's just totally like the amateur style.
Yeah, it is, and like I said, it's just horrible to watch. I said Postal's. When you talk of great European fighters, he's not on my list. He's all right. But Ramirez, like I said, Ramirez showed enough for me that he's there for the beating. I mean, Morris Hooker was absolutely dreadful that night. I mean, we did a analyst of him, and I thought he was shocking. I really did. It was quite embarrassing at times. I was embarrassed for the guy, the way he was fighting. Dreadful, really was. So I didn't. That was probably the worst fight you could have picked. This guy was flying in. He's flying in. He's messy at times. He loads up on them body shots, and he's going to be left wide open for a left hook from Josh Taylor, man. Lights out, man.
Hey, Kevin.
I want to go back to Gonzalo. I want to counter Gonzalo's point when he talked about the amateur style versus the pro style. But in the pro style, this is what people say. They bring up the sweet science. Well, boxing is a sweet science. Now, if you watch that fight, who looked like they were displaying the sweet science? The guy coming forward, throwing everything he could in these hooks, missing. He got spun around at one point off the ropes because he was so off balance. Or the guy sticking behind his jab, circling, jab, throw a right hand to keep him honest. What looked like the sweet science? Because I hear that argument a lot. You know, pros, it's all about hurting, it's all about damage. I just don't buy that. I think it's about cleaner, accurate punches.
Why doesn't Postal plant his feet to punch? Because if he plants his feet, he's gonna get countered, and that's why he's fleet-footed, moving around, scoring points. Because he don't want to stand his ground, because he's gonna lose mobility, and by losing that mobility, you're gonna get hit back flush by the other guy. So his style is geared like an amateur, score and move away.
Look, it's hard to get out of that. Look, Postal hasn't got the style where he can, like Lomachenko, if he's not winning at range, if he's struggling at range, he can take it in the pocket inside, and he's just as good, if not better for me, and he can get the job done. Where Postal, if plan A ain't working, there is no plan B.
Yeah, like I mean, it's the sweet science. Yeah, I agree, but stand your ground sometimes at least, right? Guys?
Yeah, but of course, mate, but he just doesn't have that in him. It's a bit like the Cubans, where they're just drilled to fight a certain way, and when they try to change it up, it just don't happen for them. Do you know what I mean? And I find with Postal, like I said, he had to fight like a Klitschko sort of fight to win that. But he had to have mean intentions with his shots, and they're just, like I said, I don't know with Postal.
Well, listen, we could go back and forth with this fight, but Kevin, there's a guy in the chat room, Kevin from New York. He says, no, Kevin from Brooklyn. He says you stole his name. Well, now he's saying the butcher stole his name. But anyway, he says he wants to fight you. Do you know who this guy is? Or
Kevin from New York. No, man,
From
I'm the
Brooklyn, yeah.
original Kevin
From Brooklyn.
Blank. So
That-
he's obviously stealing my moniker.
yeah,
Um,
for sure.
but real
Battle
quick,
of the
last
Kevins.
point. You got to
Last
remember,
point.
he wobbled Ramirez a couple of times. It's not like he didn't land any power shots. He kept Ramirez honest.
That's a good
There's
point.
a reason why Ramirez was hesitant, and he was kind of bewildered because he knew he couldn't just come rush forward because he got wobbled by a straight right hand right in the jaw, and he was landing clean right hands to keep him honest. So,
Yeah.
but you're right. He's got that style. It's just he got a different style.
That's right.
Some people come forward and throw everything they got. Some people stick behind the jab. It's just styles. It depends what you like, what you see. It's
But
more
like I said
valuable.
before, Kev.
I'll leave you guys
like-
to it. Take it easy.
All right, take it easy, Kevin.
Like
Thank you
I
for
said
calling.
before, like I said before, Kev. I mean, Postal, that European style. It's got very basic, but it's Eastern European style. I'd say it's very basic for Ukrainians because usually the Ukrainians got a bit more about their game than that. But Postal's very. What's the word I'm looking for? It's just nothing special about this guy. There never has been, and you know, he's got one game plan. Don't work. Then what?
That's a good.
May I ask
Good.
Kevin who he picked going into the fight? Who was his pick going into the fight?
He's not on the line anymore.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We got another phone call.
We got another phone call. Okay, hold on a second.
The hell is that?
Yeah, but you know what?
Jesus,
It's
BDA sounded like a robot.
Yeah.
yeah, it's a type of fight where it's a type of fight that could have gone either way. That's for sure.
The fuck?
All right, let's go to 314.
The hell was that?
314. You're in the
BDA.
air. Hold on. 314. You're in the air.
BDA is becoming fucking Gaia 500. Sorry.
Yeah,
Can you hear
314.
me?
You're in the air. Yeah, we can hear you. How you doing, man?
Hey, how's it going? Hey, I want to say first with that post-all fight, like that was a close fight and everything, but there's a difference between like running from somebody and controlling the fight. Sugar Ray Leonard would have like kept somebody off of him. There's a difference between like keeping away from somebody and keeping them off of you.
Yeah, of
And I
course.
don't think that post-all did that other than the first maybe 5 rounds.
It's too predictable, mate. Too predictable. Sugar Ray Leonard, he's not exactly a predictable fighter, is he? When you're in there with Leonard, he's got all the tools. So, but Postal, he's got a jab and a right hand. That's it.
But my point is like just running from somebody with no power, like that there's something to scoring rounds with where like just because like as they say the amateur style, you can't just run from somebody and hope to keep counting up rounds. You know, when you're getting cornered and clearly hurt several times.
Postal had to throw shots in 3s and 4s because, like I said, Ramirez, he's not a bad fighter, Ramirez, and sometimes he's quite smart at the way he gets inside. So you're not going to clock him every time he comes inside.
Yeah.
So you've got to be you got to be putting 3s and 4s in. The ones and 2s are just not going to work. Not all the time.
Yeah.
A lot of the reasons.
If you're going to fight like that, you're going to fight like Klitschko and put power behind the shots. And like I said, he wasn't planting his feet like Gonzalo. Someone said, you know.
Because I think to the caller, when Ramirez hurt him in those 2 rounds, the 7th and the 8th, if this were the amateurs, they would have probably overlooked that. If Postal landed something not as hard, and you could have made that a swing round for Postal, but not in the professionals. He hurt him and he ran, so those 2 rounds go to Ramirez clearly, and that's only an example that I'm using.
But let me ask the caller one question, right? How did you think Ramirez come out of this after this fight? Do you think do you rate him more now than you did before the fight, or is your opinion changed a bit in your favour and Taylor to win this fight now?
Not really, because he's still simple. Like he's
Explain
still
yourself,
that,
caller. Explain
2-step, come ahead and throw a hook.
Yeah, very predictable.
And he didn't really
yeah.
come out with major power or anything.
So would you say now then that Josh Taylor is a clear favourite to win this fight if these two get it on?
Yeah.
You know what, man?
This is a lot of people's opinion.
You know what I think, Ramirez, and we talked about it the day before the fight, that he's against Hooker. It was the 6th round. The 5th and the 6th rounds, he was huffing and puffing a little bit. So it seems to me like there's a pattern there where he starts out strong, and then by the middle of the fight, he has to get his second win.
Mate,
And
he loads up on his shots too much. There's no rhythm behind his work. It's all like loading up. When you start loading up on shots, how long do you think you can do that for before the tank starts to empty?
Yeah, we talked about that a little bit. Yeah. Yeah, we talked a lot.
Go and watch them body. Go and watch them body shots he's throwing. He is twisting his body and putting everything into that. And you keep doing that, you're gonna get tired.
It's gonna catch up to you eventually, right?
Of course, mate.
Now, Stu, that's something my buddy Mickey was really good at. Like maybe limited in certain things. People would say just straight brawler, but there's certain things in there you don't realize unless you know like how he punches or like how he spars. And Mickey was notorious for taking off and laying on punches. Like he says, I'm not overly skilled, so I'm not just going to go out there and throw. It's like a pitcher. You guys know if you fucking face a pitcher and he comes at you, every pitch is 99 miles an hour. After a while, you time it. After a while, you build up almost you get resilient to it. So you want to take some off, and to me, Ramirez seems to throw everything with the same amount.
He does, mate. He does. He doesn't change up his rhythm. Go and watch Lomachenko, how he changes up his rhythm. That's same with Chocolatito. The way Chocolatito will sit there and throw nothing punches, but then before you know it, there's a monster coming behind him. You know, and it confuses them. I mean, when you watch Cal Fire in there with Chocolatito, he was just bamboozled. He didn't have
mentally
time to
exhausting
breathe.
too.
Well, he mentally exhausted, didn't have time to breathe because he was constantly thinking there was just constant shots coming at him, even though some of these weren't even hurting it. They were just tapping gloves. Before you know it, there's a big one coming through, and just that's a good fight. Like Lomachenko does it. When you fight at one pace, I always use that say one pace is where you're just throwing shots at the same pace with the same venom. You're not switching it up. You know, you got to get these fighters thinking. You got to set up your shots. It gets too predictable, man. I mean, Ramirez against Maurice Hooker, he was doing the same work most of the night. It was just predictable shit. I wasn't that impressed with Ramirez, to be honest with you. Maurice Hooker was just terrible.
I favor Taylor, but one thing I have to say that I can counter is I've seen Taylor hurt 3 times in different fights where I haven't seen Ramirez hurt. What do you guys have to say about that?
Well, you know what I would say to that is he hasn't fought Baranchik and Prograis yet. You know, let's see what. I would like to see how he does against Prograis, but unfortunately, if I want to see the Taylor fight, he shouldn't be fighting Prograis then, because I think Prograis beats him at this point.
Yeah,
that's the way. I'm not saying.
I have him losing both of them fights.
I'm not saying Prograis schools him, and I'm not saying Taylor schools him either. But at this point, I think he's a clear third. Look, listen, he got past Postal. Let's give him credit for that. But he showed his limitations too. Now against Taylor, though.
What type of style? What type of style is what made Ramirez look bad?
That's what I was about to say, though. Like Taylor is not going to box around, or maybe he will try it in the beginning, but I think eventually he'll just fall back into wanting to slug it out with Ramirez, and it's going to be a slugfest, just like it was against Prograis.
Yeah. A lefty and Chon Cepeda made fucking Ramirez look bad, and Taylor's a lefty. To Butcher's point.
Yeah, I see Taylor probably stopping Ramirez with a left hook. I see Ramirez loading up on a left body shot, and I think he leaves himself wide open to a left, and I think that'd be all she wrote. Look, Ramirez is going to give Taylor a hard night's work while it lasts, but I think Taylor's good enough to get him out. I think Regis Prograis just beats him up on the cards. I just think he's going to just constantly punch Ramirez in the face, if you get what I'm trying to say. I know it sounds a bit basic, but he's going to get hit a lot, Ramirez, by that. And Regis just throws punches from funny angles, and he's another one that changes up the pace and gets you confused. So I'm very unorthodox as well. I think Ramirez could have kittens. Baranchik is like a pit bull. So that fight there is a 50-50 for me. You know, I think that. But
yeah,
Baranchik,
I want to see what happens with more power.
I think Baranchik might have a bit more power than Ramirez.
Baranchik, he's wild, but yeah, he's stronger.
All right, listen, 314. Anything else you want to say before we let you go?
I had another question. I was just curious what everybody thought, because I always thought that Ugas inched out Porter. I just wanted to know who thought the end of that fight that was a knockdown in the 11th or 12th round with Porter.
Yeah, wasn't there some sort of a knockdown at the end of that fight? I forget.
He
fell
caught him
down,
with the
they
inside of
called
the
it
glove,
flip.
which a lot of people consider lacing. And
I think I scored that fight. I think I scored that fight a draw for myself. I don't know if I remember correctly.
I
thought
thought
you
it was a
guys did
robbery.
really well. I thought
it was close, but I thought that would have put Ugas over. I don't know if anybody remembers that or not.
I think Ugas is an excellent. Yeah, Ugas is an excellent counter puncher. But with him, he gets in his own head. You can tell when he's thinking. And actually had a conversation with him on Twitter, and he agreed with me. He said, "Yeah, man, my coach tells me that too. Get out of my own head." He starts because what he does. He told me he tries to do everything perfect instead of just reacting.
He's also strong and physical because he was able to bully Figueroa, who's a bully himself at 140 though, and he was able to do that to Porter, back him up. Porter was fighting from the outside.
Yeah, he pushed him around the whole time.
Hey, fellas, I just found a picture of Ugas with his fiance. They got like a little chow. They adopted. First of all, my fiance and I adopted a son, and then they showed the dog. I'm sorry to say, man, but it's the truth. I hate when people call
That's pretty bad. That's weirdo stuff. That's something Chavez Jr. would do.
That's a Yorkie. That's a Yorkie. No, a Yorkie poo. My father has one. A Yorkie poodle. His name is Mickey. You see, she looks all right.
No, wait.
Better,
why is that? Hey, BDA, why does it bother you? I'm just asking. Curious.
Well, first of all, I just want to clarify with something, Gonzalo. When you said your father has one of those, are you talking about the dog or the girl?
Back in the day, he was the big guns. Yeah, he used to do that. He was known for that. But no, he's got the dog.
And by the way, that girl that he's with, his fiance, she's got those childbearing hips. Like you can tell, you just graze that with your dick, and she gets pregnant, man.
She should be pushing him out.
Yeah, she's probably going to, man.
Man.
All right, listen.
It's pregnant when you wash your underwear.
All right, caller.
He's gonna play a part in the Fast and the Furious movie where they go get in Cuba.
All right, listen. Caller, thank you for calling in, man. Call back next time, right? You made some excellent points.
Hey, can I ask Stu one more quick question?
One quick question, yes, please. Yes, please.
Yeah. Just what is the hype like in Britain with like the Fury Joshua fight? Because they've been like spatting for like 7 years now.
Yeah, I mean, look, the hype is. I wouldn't say it's gone overboard because with this COVID ban, we know it's not going to happen until that ban's over because you can't make Joshua Fury and put in an empty fucking room. It's just not going to work, man.
Yeah.
That has to be at Wembley Stadium in front of 90,000. That's going to be a massive pay-per-view. Look, that's going to break all records. And look, I even think the Americans going to tune into that one. You know, that's going to do big numbers over there.
I will.
So look,
it's going to be the biggest heavyweight fight.
Even the LDBC, mate, they might hate both of Fury and Joshua, but they'll be fucking tuning in with their popcorn. Don't you worry about that one. Look, it's a massive fight. It's the fight that has to happen. You know, I just don't want it to be left to fucking stew too long because we left Wilder and Joshua too long to stew, and they both fucking went to sleep, didn't they? So,
they so much.
They got their ass whooped. Let's just say that.
I personally think there'd be so much excitement for that fight in the United States. I wouldn't be surprised if Bob made an effort to have it go off in Vegas.
Yeah,
I was gonna say that, Jimmy. The money's there, man.
I wouldn't be surprised. I would not be surprised if that fight is in the States. I wouldn't be surprised at all.
How about
it's that big?
But
I wonder if Saudi Arabia.
It just makes sense. 90,000 at Wembley. You're not going to get better than that. The atmosphere will be absolutely insane. You're not going to get that in the beaches of fucking Saudi Arabia. You're not.
But
you're not going to get that in Millionaires Row in Las Vegas. You know.
But the thing is, for the promoters, yes, for fans, 90,000 seats, without a doubt, that'd be personally, that's what I would want it, right? In England, they deserve first off native sons.
There's no way Eddie Hearn's taken out of what. It could happen, but there's no. I just don't see it. I just don't see Eddie Hearn.
But Eddie Hearn doesn't make any money on the gate. He claims he gives. I just wanted to make that one quick point, dude. I'll give it back to you. Eddie claims he said it in front of Josh, and Josh didn't deny it. He said, "I don't even touch the money for the gate. the gate goes 100% to the fighters. He makes his money off the pay-per-view and on the other end, and obviously site fees.
Then. Yeah, well,
So then if it was site fees, nobody matches Vegas. Site fees, like Vegas will give you $20 million up front. Here, boom.
Yeah.
Jesus.
That's big money.
I don't know, man. I just think the money that they'll generate, full stop, I don't think it's going to make the gate. It's not going to make a lot of difference. That'll make a lot of money in the UK. Don't you worry about that. Like, if Joshua
90,000 seats.
Well, Joshua was getting 20 odd million to fight average guys, man. Do you know what I mean? So
let me ask you, what was the price? What was the price tag on those seats in Wembley, if you don't mind me asking? If you know,
I mean, it depends where you are, doesn't it? If you're at the fucking top of it, it ain't going to be a lot, is it? You sit there with
so were they expensive? But in general, even cheap seats, say what were the cheapest? What did they start at?
Yeah, you'll get your $40 seats, I should think. But then
that's still not that cheap for 90,000.
Yeah, but the lower you go down,
the
lower you go down, it's going to be a lot more. Thousands.
Holy shit. Then they must have made fucking.
Yeah, they made a lot of money.
You put 90,000 people in a stadium. That some of these guys are paying 5,000-6,000 ringside seats, and then all the boxes that they've got. How much do you think they make from the box? They made an absolute fortune. Don't listen to Eddie Hearn. He chats so much shit, man. Don't listen to that guy, man. He makes a lot.
That's why I was asking. Well, he said he with all his fighters, what he does is. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, no, it was either the pay-per-view or the gate. He doesn't touch. He lets his fighters and all his fighters. He has that set up where he doesn't touch the gate. He makes the money off.
When he says about the gate, Jimmy, when he says about the gate, it's probably when he's talking about the O2 Arena and places like that, Sheffield Arena. Wembley's a different kettle of fish. I'm sure he gets his share of that. Trust me.
Oh yeah, some way and whether he's not living poor. He's not sucking dick for beer money.
Look, the guy is. He'd sell his grandma for a fucking dollar, wouldn't he? Come on.
All right, listen, caller, we gotta let you go, man. What you want? One more question?
No, but thanks for letting me come on. But I hope that I hope that the promoters man up whenever that happens, because that's the biggest fight in at least 25 years, and I hope they have a good undercard.
Well, let me tell you,
between those two promotions, they should be able to make something pretty special.
Absolutely. I decree it. It's
you
gonna
guys
happen.
have a good night.
You too, man. It's gonna happen. The fight. It's gonna happen. Trust me. All right. Thank you for calling in.
What's up with your voice? That's awesome.
Yeah, the voice.
I don't know. Listen, I haven't gone to church in 2 weeks. Maybe that's got something to do with it. But
he's morphing into Gaia 500.
Would you stop saying that, man? Hey, I found Ugas's girlfriend, Fiasco, whatever, Twitter, and let me tell you something. Somebody said, I think it was Saint Brit said, might be a dude. Does that look like a dude to you, or I mean, it just looks like a
these days, man.
I mean, come on. I don't. She looks okay to me. I don't see anything that would indicate.
Well,
yeah.
He supposedly had kids, right? I mean, that'd be quite the fucking stunt.
Yeah.
Well, this
fake.
This century. You don't know with Latinas though, man. With this type, or she might be Armenian though. You never know. By the way, look at this. Like. He's saying it's my birthday. Like, it looks like something out of a rap video. This motherfucker was probably driving a car from the 1920s back in Cuba. Now he thinks he's in a rap video. Stay humble, man. You don't need to do this.
He looks like that Mexican girl, Niurka. You know Niurka?
Oh, yeah.
No.
But she's got a whole bunch of plastic surgery.
Find Jesus.
Yeah, find Jesus. That's what you need to do.
Hey, Jimmy, what were your thoughts on fake boobs?
What bolt-ons? They suck. Yeah. Well, it depends on how they get them. if they get them the cheap way over the muscle, they're terrible. You actually feel the bag. You can feel the crease in the bag. The best way is under the muscle from the armpit. If they have them fucking slit on the nipple and just stuff in there, those are the worst. Then when they're on your hands and knees, and if you can look over in the mirror, because like I should check myself out for form and whatnot, and fucking make sure you rim it, and they would hang. You could actually see it from the. Oh, it was nasty. This chick. You could actually see the fucking shape of the bag in her tit as she was flying back and forth. Like nah, man. Tits are for kids, man. Because listen, anybody can be born with a fucking big fat set of titties, you know what I mean? You gotta work for a set of fucking a nice ass and legs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Good point.
Well, Butch is asking all the right questions here on this episode, but I mean, it's. Did I hear it correctly, Jimmy? Did you say you check yourself for form?
Yeah, I was busting stones because she had this in her house. She had mirror, like her fucking huge, like she had a bed that had bureaus on it, whatnot. And the headrest was like a big mirror. So we were across the side of bed. But and fucking that was back when I was in a bodybuilding. So like any narcissistic, fucking insecure bodybuilder, I couldn't walk by anything but a reflection without looking. And
fucking
I'm being honest. And fucking so I'm like, but then it caught my eye. I'm like, oh man, I wish you wouldn't have seen that. Like bad enough where I had to start fucking thinking of something different. I might have fucking started trying to slip a noodle in a coin slot.
Oh, jeez, Louise. Yeah, man. I mean, that's gotta. Was it like in American Psycho where he's fucking the hookers and he's flexing in front of the mirror? And
no. Because actually at the time I had my left foot, like I was side mounting, or I had my back foot on my left foot on the back of her neck. It was in that part of during that part of the section when you were trying to hurt her. You know what I mean? That I was drilling for oil. I was going deep, but I could see it, man.
Well, I like how you say. I like how you say the part where I was trying to hurt her. Isn't that the whole thing? Trying to hurt her?
You were like,
well, you know what I mean. You hear them. You hear them go. Ooh! You hear them get that little squeak, like you just went that little too deep, and instead of being a gentleman, you do it again.
Hey, Jimmy, were you doing it? Jimmy. Dude, you doing George Floyd or something? What are you doing?
All right, let me explain this type of chick, this chick's sexuality, right? Straight up. So put it in perspective, the kind of chick she was. I was fucking wailing her in the pooper. But dude, after I pulled out, she wanted to look at her own asshole. She made me hold a mirror so she could look at her own asshole. Because dude, literally, it was the size of a fucking you could almost put your fist in. And she was impressed by that. This chick was dirty, dude. Dirty. There was nothing she wouldn't have done. It actually grossed me out because she told me a couple of stories of things she did in the past. I didn't want to say in the show because you'll get a fucking strike. And I was kind of turned off by it. She was a Budweiser. You know those chicks back in the day? They used to have 3 of them lay it down and have Budweiser across their bathing suits.
Yeah, sure.
She was from the Azores Islands. Gorgeous. Short though. She was like only 5'7" for a model chick, but man, was she smoking. But when I fucking started dating, man, Jesus, she came on too strong sexually. Just the shit she told me was too quick.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, man.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, sometimes it can throw you off a little bit, especially if she comes off desperate. You're like, I don't even want to bust a nut on that one. But yeah, man,
yeah. Exactly. I slept with her twice, dude. She told me about how this guy she was dating who was in his 40s. Mind you, she was like 24, 25 then. He was in his 40s, a multi-millionaire, was paying for her apartment. She saw him once in a while and shit, but she's like, I'll break up with him and shit. But then she was telling me, the second time I slept with her, that she fucked him and his best friend and his lawyer on the yacht.
His lawyer?
3 of them. They forced him. Yeah, but it was his friend. He hung out with him. And I'm like, yeah, no shit, huh? Like, she was trying to get sexual. So I mean, I'm like, I'm back in my state of my brain, you fucking filthy pig. What do you think? I'm going to marry you now? I mean, like, I'm going to take you serious? You should at least hid this until, I'm literally like the second time I slept over, she's telling me that shit. I'm like, all right.
Make it hurt.
Yeah.
Make it fucking hurt. Harder, motherfucker.
You know what? I remember Recognize told us the story about there was this porn star. I already forgot her name, but her asshole was so torn up. I think she had to wear diapers or something. It was just a disgusting story, man. I mean, that's the world of porn for you, man, and of deviancy. You gotta get right with the Lord, people. I've said it before, and I'll say it again, man. So, I mean, all right, listen. Anything else you guys want to say before we go on?
Yeah, I'm done, man.
You're done. It was a good interview, man.
Yeah.
Gonzalo, very good interview, man. And Stu and Gonzalo, you asked some very good questions. Very good questions. People in the chat room too as well. Fantastic interview. We wish Abel Ramos the best of luck, man. He's up against one of the top 10 welterweights in the world. But like we said, stylistically, he's got a shot in there, man. He's got some elements within him that can take him to the win. And again, this is boxing. This is why guys fight. You never know. We don't settle things on paper. They settle things in the ring. So we're gonna be looking forward to that.
Also,
yeah.
He's an exciting fighter, and it'll be an interesting contest. for now that we're getting back into boxing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm gonna check that out. I missed the interview. I'm gonna check that out after the show.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Check it out, man. Check it out. Also, don't. I'm gonna remind you guys that the undercard's not that bad either. You got Lances Barthélemy, who's an inside Cuban fighter. He's not an outside of the. Even though he's tall, he likes to fight on the inside. He's gonna be taking on undefeated Dominicano, Diego, Alberto Puello. 12 rounds for the interim WBA. Who cares about the WBA? And then also the night before on Saturday, Jamel Herring versus Jonathan Oquendo. Jamel Herring's probably going to outbox him, but you never know. So you can check that one out as well.
Yeah.
Oh, and
what was the first fight again? What was the first fight again? Did you say?
Herring versus Oquendo on ESPN.
No, the other one.
Oh, the second on the undercard of Ugas versus Ramos, it's Lances Barthélemy versus Alberto Puello.
Yeah, the Cuban Barthélemy. Actually, Barthélemy is quite exciting for a Cuban.
Yeah,
he is quite exciting.
Didn't he lose his last couple?
Yeah,
he's coming off
another one.
So how's he getting a title?
With the Cuban thing earlier, folds under pressure a little bit.
Didn't he fight against Robert Easter? That fight was horrible.
Yeah, that was. But that was Robert Easter Jr. Yeah, that was Robert Easter Jr. trying to box from the outside. Like after the Mikey Garcia fight, he got outboxed by the shorter guy, so he was probably trying to show people, hey, I can box too, motherfucker. But but like Stu said,
I hate that when fighters do that.
Well, they want to try to prolong their career. But like you said though, why is he getting a title shot though? That's the question. It's that's the PBC for you, man. It's an interim WBA junior welterweight title. So let's not make it out to be like they're fighting for all four belts, And also on ESPN September 19th, Jose Pedraza comes back against Javier Molina. Finally, Pedraza's getting a fight after all those postponements. Showtime same day, Erickson Lubin versus Terrell Gausha. Let's see what happens in that one.
Yeah, with Lubin's a strange one, really, ain't he, Lubin? He looks actually quite dangerous when he's going forward, unfortunately. I mean, Charlo grazed the side of his head, and he looked like fucking Jackie Wilson in there.
Well, listen, that's the division for you. I mean, that's boxing for you. He got hit with one shot, he got dropped. Now he's the first one who stopped Ishii Smith, by the way. First one to stop Ishii Smith. So, and he's beaten. I think. Oh, he also beat Nathaniel Gallimore. He did it pretty convincingly. So he's been on a winning streak since doing that. So we'll see what happens. By the way,
drug tested for that shot with him, right there.
Ishii Smith. I mean, not sure about that one.
Yeah, you're
right. He
right.
had a granite chin, though. Still, I don't think he ever got knocked out before that. He's not a real good fighter.
Chins are there to crack, mate. Chins are there to crack.
Hey,
Ishii Smith, he's okay. I mean, let's be real, he's okay.
Yeah,
that's as far as I'll go with that one. Name me one great thing this guy's done.
No, you're right. Listen. Yeah, but I mean, the fact that he stopped him is the thing I'm going for here. By the way,
I know, but look, fucking
for me, battling the LDBC.
Ishii Smith is finished. Why is he even fighting in this card, man? He's done.
No, he's not fighting in this card. He's not fighting in this card. What I'm saying is Nathaniel Gallimore stopped him.
Sorry, because you're cutting in and out. I thought you said he was fighting on this card.
No, I'm not cutting in and out. I'm right here. Anyway, the point is this. Listen. The point is this. There's also another good card. September the 12th. I forgot that before all that, we got Kavaliauskas coming back, and he's taking on Mikhail Zuski. Now, some of you guys are gonna go, who? Mikhail Zuski was a guy. He was an undefeated prospect a couple of years ago, and he looked like he was going to be very, very good. Then on the night before Pacquiao Mayweather, he lost against an undefeated Eastern European. And since then, he's fought nobodies. But now he's coming back and taking on Kavaliauskas. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens. And then you got Marriaga on the undercard.
Kavaliauskas, who did he fight recently? My mind's gone blank.
Terence Crawford. He's the one that lost.
Terence Crawford.
Yeah.
I mean, Terence Crawford. He did all right in there for a few rounds. He did. I think with Kavaliauskas, he just every time Terence tagged him, he just rocking him to his boots. Man.
Yeah, that's
the Green Machine or Mean Machine.
Yeah, Mean Machine. That's his nickname. Yeah. He looks like.
Let's be real. It's not a fight that gets me excited. I'm not exactly going to be getting up in the morning doing star jumps waiting for that one. It's just,
Hey, BDA, if Terrence Crawford beat Mean Machine, does that make Crawford a meaner machine?
That's a good one, Gonzalo. That's
yeah.
makes him
Maybe,
a very
maybe.
a VMF,
Look.
very mean machine. A VMM.
Crawford needs to get a move along. Look, he's in his early 30s now, 32, I think he is. You can't just keep fighting the Amir Khans of this world. Bob's going to have to start making some moves and trying to get this guy some big fights. Even bring Sean Porter over, because Al don't care about that guy. He'll send him over. He won't send Errol over, though.
Yeah.
So, I don't know with Terrence. I mean, I'd like to see him in a big fight, but I'm right now, I'm not sure where it's coming from. I don't know where the big fight is coming from.
Hey, by the way, shout out. Hold on, real quick. Shout out to Tony Yayo, who donated a while back. I also want to give a shout out to a couple of super chats I've overlooked during the interview. OG Boogie, that's G Boogie, also donated, and Stephen Schneider contributed with the super chat back when we were talking about Ramirez Postal. And Stephen Schneider says, Jimmy is right. You gotta take the belt. You gotta take the belt from the champ. And then again, thanks to Tony Yayo again, who just donated. Shout out to Tony Yayo for his contribution. All right, Jimmy, what were you gonna say? Sorry about that.
Oh no, I was shit. I can't remember now, dude. I started listening to you.
Yeah, you took another
forgot what I was
puff.
gonna say,
You took another puff, and boom, out went that thought, huh?
Yeah, man, it's a bad
Well,
thing.
somebody said that you got to take it from the champion. One of the comments, just to go back.
Oh yeah, Jimmy's right. Jimmy's right, 100% right. I've been preaching this for how long? You can't just go to someone's backyard and take their belt by fighting in a negative sort of way. You've got to go. You've got to go and look convincing on the court. You've got to make it look where even the judges can't rob you. That's how you got to make it. You've got to go for the stoppage for a start, because then that takes the judges and everyone out of the equation. Obviously that's not going to happen in every fight. So you're not going to stop every fight.
Still, let me ask you.
In there with. But you've got to go and try and get the win when you're away from home. Go ahead, Jim.
No, so let me ask you, Stu. Do you feel like from the part of the fight you watched, do you feel if you were a judge, would you looking at Postel, would you say he gave everything he had, put it on the line to take this guy out, or did he fight to leave it in the judge's hands?
Listen, even if I didn't see anything of this fight, I could answer that for you, and the answer would be no. I've watched this guy enough to know that he didn't give his all in there. He probably didn't go to win. He probably tried to nick it on the cards like he always does. And you're going to need...
For me, like Jacobs, he does just enough to win.
Yeah, that's why I picked Ramirez to win on points, because Postal was never going to do enough to get the nod against Ramirez on home turf, and he's just not. He's not pleasing on the eye, Postal, is he? When you're watching him, you just don't. Some of these shots, you're just thinking, I don't even want to score those shots. You know, it's just nothing behind them. It's boring to watch. And look, you can bore judges into a lull where they're not even seeing your work because you know what I mean.
But what I'm saying is, there's a reason you don't stand your ground, because you're probably going to get knocked out if you're Postal.
But you can stand, but you can fight going backwards and still control pace. You can still control distance. You can still be you know what I mean? I'm pretty good at actually fighting backwards, getting people into a trap. You know what I mean? So he wasn't doing that when he was going backwards. He was going backwards because he had to. He wasn't like
he was retreating.
Controlling
he was retreating.
You know what I mean? Retreating, exactly. He wasn't doing any game plan, and he has no mid game, no inside game to speak of.
Special about Postal at all. There's just nothing.
Very upright, very 1-2.
Basic shit, man. It's just so basic. He's got half decent footwork as well.
Ukrainian Danny Garcia.
Yeah. Well, no,
I wouldn't take that as an insult, man.
No, I would say he's a Danny Garcia sort of fighter.
Well, I mean by like prodding, like he just doesn't seem to like.
Yeah, it's just. I get what you're saying. Where it's just you never memorize by his performances. You never think, "Oh, what a great performance from Danny." You feel like you've been cheated watching Danny Garcia.
Exactly. Well, he admitted that, Stu. Did you hear him after the last fight when his last loss? Who was that against? Not the kid he beat up, but he lost was against. Who was it? I can't remember now. But after an interview, it says everything about this kid's mindset when he said, "Oh well, I would have went more for the knockout, but I thought I was winning."
Yeah, but
I'm like,
this is
"What,
Danny Fear.
dude?"
This is Danny Fear, mate. He's just, I just don't like watching this kid fight at all. He just doesn't do anything that excites me. It's just so one page. It's just so the same stuff. All he does is wait for the right moment to land the left hook and hope it fucking takes him out. There's nothing. There's no game. There's no B game with this guy. It's just one pace. It's one idea. It's just I can't do any more with Danny. Every time he's in a big fight, he just never gives enough to win. You know,
He doesn't have the ring IQ to fucking set it crap. Have you guys ever remember? Right?
How many gift decisions did he had, man? He's like the Puerto Rican fucking Felix Sturm, man. This guy's had more decisions than Sturm. Look, don't like Danny Garcia one bit. Not as a fighter. I just don't.
When he first beat Matiz, I was kind of high on him back in 2013. His last really good, and then when he went up to weight, which he shouldn't have, he should have stayed at what he hit harder at 140.
Yeah, he did.
That's where he actually had weight. He hit harder, exactly at 140. So he came up to 147 for the money. That's the first thing, because he was talked into it. His father said it. He said it. He could still could easily make 140. So that's where he should have stayed. That's again where his power. And when he came up, 7 years went by, dude. He didn't knock anybody out. He just, and to see a kid progress. But this is what happens. The difference is, right, in 6 years or 4 years as champion, I think he had 7 title defenses. I mean, you think about a young Puerto Rican like the kid who won it when he was 17 years old. Benitez back in 77, 78. I was a little fucking lad. That kid fought like 8 times his first year as champion, like every other month. But that's how you develop skills. So because he doesn't fight enough and he fucking always spars the same dudes, he's not getting anything, no new wrinkles. I've been watching this kid pros. Has he ever set a trap? Has anybody ever seen him? You could tell he set, like you see Lomachenko doing all night long.
Look, when he fought Amir Khan, right, he was throwing that left all night. It was skimming Khan by millimeters. I said to my friends, Amir Khan's getting knocked the fuck out in a minute. They're like, what's... I said, because there's only so long you can skim punches. Like, Danny just threw that left up all night and it all eventually lands on his neck. The rest is history, man. I mean, I knew that was going to happen, but after that, he's struggling. I mean, let's be real. Zab Judah, the man that quit against Amir Khan, the man that's just been... Well, what can I say about Zab? You know, this guy always tries to find a way out of a fight. He's been like a circus act at times. Yeah. He's piecing Danny Garcia up in the latter rounds, bashing him up. Lamont Peterson looked like a steam train in there against him. I mean, I had to look twice. I thought, is that Lamont Peterson or Marvin Hagler in there? I couldn't believe it. Danny Garcia sitting there holding on for fucking dear life. He fights Herrera in Puerto Rico, gets beat in my eyes. Lost that on the cards for anyone, but nicks a win. Even the Puerto Ricans booed him out the ring. Then you've got hang on a sec. Then you've got he had that fast against Rod Solka. Then who else has he fought? I mean, all right, he fought Furman and that, but didn't win that fight for me. Every big fight he's been in, he just hasn't won them for me. Just hasn't.
And you know what? He's doing a lot of weight right now, Jimmy, to prepare for the Spence fight. I don't know about them. He's getting all beefed up.
He's going to make him even fucking stiffer and slower. Exactly. He doesn't need a bit. But I was going to say to Stu, because he was talking about he got booed out of against Herrera in his own, his homecoming, which was stupid in itself. The kid couldn't even speak Spanish. And to call yourself a Puerto Rican and say, these are my people, and then to go there and not be able to speak their language, they take that as an insult, as they should. You know what I mean? Yes, and then he got booed against Thurman, too. Remember, 5 out of the 12 rounds, they were booing. It was a sloppy fucking boo fest.
Fellas.
Look, I don't mean to be a hater, right? I don't mean to come on here and sound like a fucking hater. But I've just got to be honest with you guys, man. Danny, like I said earlier, you always feel like you've been cheated when you watch Danny fight. It's just like it's like he's stealing a living out of the sport.
Oh, yeah.
I think he's better than what he's showing us, if you get what I'm saying. I think he's better than what he's giving us.
Well, you know what?
And he got that showcase against Rod Salkas, too, and that Rachel Labril fight, that was a cherry pick gone wrong.
Yeah, Richard Abril. Yeah, I remember that one. I had Abril winning that fight. I remember that. I mean, some people had Theopain beating Garcia as well. You know.
The fact he fought Selka, that was an embarrassment. That was fucking pull that little kid up like that.
That's the way they do things over there at the PBC. Sometimes they give us good things, and oftentimes they give us a lot of mismatches just to keep the time going. I want to give a shout out to Vince Vegas, who donated the super chat a while back. He says, "Keep it up." Well, thank you, Vince Vegas. Thanks to everybody who contributed. You really keep us afloat with the Blog Talk Radio.
He's got the best name ever.
Yeah, Vince Vegas.
Vince Vegas. Fucking dude, he's either got a 12-inch dick and he's making his money spanking chicks, or he's just got the fucking Vince Vegas. That's right.
Yeah, Gonzalo, we gotta go. So yeah.
I was going to tell you about that. Wasn't a joke. It's true, right? If he beat Mean Machine, that means he's a mean motherfucker, right, Crawford? No joke.
Well, yeah, man, because Kavaliauskas, people go, who the fuck was Kavaliauskas? Hey, listen, Kavaliauskas is built like a powerhouse. The guy knows how to fight, and Crawford beat him at his own game, backing him up. So I was impressed by the way he was able to turn the tables around on him. So I'm not going to criticize Crawford.
I'm sorry, I didn't know you were trying to get off the phone, dude. I didn't know that it was the end of the show. I wouldn't have kept.
No, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it,
Jimmy, man. You're cool, brother.
Yeah, don't worry about it. No, don't apologize for anything, man. But look, listen, you guys, fantastic show as always, man. Really appreciate it. Really appreciate having you on board for the Abel Ramos interview, so that you could ask him questions, and very good questions they were.
Yeah, next time you need to sort that out, though, man, so he can hear us.
It's been sorted out. It's been sorted out.
Oh, that's cool.
And yeah, we'll try to get more. I want to try to get Junior Witter on the show, former junior welterweight title holder, who at one point was on such a winning streak that people were calling him. Considering him that eventually he was going to fight some of the top names in the welterweight division.
Yeah.
So
I mean, Ricky Hatton ducked this guy for years, man.
Yeah,
Still want to fight Junior. No, but look, whether you think Witter was going to win or not, he still ducked him, and he did. And it was clear. I remember it back in the day. Junior Witter was a fucking horrible style for anyone. He had that Winkerman style from fucking Brendan Eagle gym.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? It's a horrible style to fight, man. It's a very awkward style, and he was quite a dangerous guy himself. He could punch a bit, and I think he could have given Hatton a real hard time. But I think Timothy Bradley came over to the UK and took his title in the end.
Yeah, that was a miscalculation on his part, taken on Timothy Bradley. But I would love to get him on. Maybe also get Winky Wright. It's another name that I've been looking at. Sugar Shane Mosley. So we'll see what happens, man. But we got to keep these interviews going. I love doing them, and we'll be back. Kelly Pavlik. Yeah, that would be another one too, man. That he had some sensational wins himself. So, fellas, again, thanks to Stu, Jimmy, Gonzalo for joining us, and again, Gonzalo, thank you for getting Abel Ramos on the show. What else, man?
Good job, Gonzalo.
Absolutely,
yeah, no
man.
problem. You don't got to thank me, but anyways.
Oh, I'll thank you anyway.
Later.
And I want to thank Steven Schneider, OG Boogie, Vince. I don't know why they're. How come I can't see the other contributions? Okay, I'll just go back on the chat. Shout out to Tony Yayo, Vince Vega. Vegas, yes. They were the two that gave also. G Boogie, like I said, Steven Schneider. Thank you for your contribution, fellas. Really appreciate it. And we'll catch you on the next one. That's about it, man. Give a shout out.
Everybody be safe, man.
You too, Jimmy. Thank you for being on. You too, Gonzalo.
Guys. Thanks, man. Good night.
Good night, man. Shout out to T-Tone, Walter Mitty, White Devil, Wesley Mitchell, Vince Vegas, Ronnie Pickering, Elias Tufekix, Tony Yayo. I think I mentioned Subash Kunwar. Shout out to Subash, Hard Recoil, Kevin from Chicago who called in as well. Everybody who called in as well. Thank you guys. Osmian Diaz, Barakus, weird ass names. One Hitter. Shout out to One Hitter. Triple JJJ in the house as well. Official Scorecard Boxing. Thank you guys for joining us. We'll catch you on the next one. Have a good one.
I'm disappointed in every one of you.
I'm sorry. I don't mean to offend you.
I'm disappointed in every one of you.
I kiss you on the mouth.
No, I'm not cool with that. I'm sorry.
One more time.
I'm disappointed in every one of you.
I mean, I'm dealing with degenerate animals.
I'm disappointed in every one of you. Disappointed in every one of you.
All right, come on.
Honestly, I can't do it, man.
I'm disappointed in every one of you.
Let me tell you why.
It's gonna be all right, Nicky. Go ahead, shoot.
He just killed a little fucking man.
What are you going to do about it?
Yeah, because you got nothing. You don't got a thing. Yeah, because you got nothing. Lobito! Got nothing.
I want to get out. I want to get out of this rat hole. I want to get online. I need
BDA Boxing.